Shane Mosley's dad back after 4 fights. John David Jackson trained him for his last fight, but he was training with Bernard Hopkins for Bernard's latest victory. So Jack Mosley came back and working with Shane now. His wife Jen has been very predominant in the management of Shane Mosley, and Fernando Vargas is getting married next month, so he's going to find out what it's like to have a wife too. I'm pumped. The crowd's pumped. Here we go. Mosley in the red with the white and black. Vargas in the brown trunks. Shane starts first, trying to touch up Fernando. Couple of light jabs that don't really find their place. There's a chopping right hand. He wants to get right back to work on that eye, I guess.
Well, he'll find out what works and how quickly, and whether or not he'll be able to set that up, because Mosley has chopping action with his right hand. It's a slashing jab and a right hand.
And the thing is that Vargas has a tendency sometimes to lunge with his left hook. And when he's in motion, if Mosley can time the right hand, that's how he gets on top of that left eye. Mosley showing the hand speed there, up on his toes. Lightly positioning himself with his left jab rather than throwing it as a punch. And he can throw it as a shoe-shine punch, or he can get really tough, driving up the back foot and getting power behind it, depending on what he wants to do with his right hand after the left hand.
For Shane Mosley, this is the ideal style to fight against. He has blazing hand and foot speed, and here's a guy coming straight at him, so it sets up well for him. It's the best style for Mosley. In the last fight, we did not see it as much, and yet he still won. It will be interesting to see if he goes back to side movement tonight.
Hand speed clear again here as you see the lightning left jab of Shane Mosley. This is the right hand, it gets through, and then they get tied up, and Kenny Bayless has to do his job to separate the two. Now that time, you saw the jab as a punch, as it got a piece of Fernando Vargas. Vargas, you know, thought he was ahead in the last fight. The judges didn't have it quite that way, but it was a close fight, the first fight.
Well, Vargas did enough talking to get himself into a rematch. That's a good sales job on his part to talk it up and get here.
But in a lot of ways, he's been a kinder, less street sort of Fernando Vargas for this fight. There's no $100,000 bet. There's no real taunting at the weigh-in, not at the weigh-in, but at the press conference this time. So, you know, he's more concentrating on the fight itself that's going on in the ring than all of the talk outside of the ring.
Well, there was so much on the line in his last fight. It was a big payday, and it was supposed to lead to other ones. Well, he didn't get the win, but he got a bonus payday here, and I think that's helped settle him a little bit.
Yeah, this is on pay-per-view in the United States, and there's a multi-million-dollar payday in it for both of these guys. So from the business aspect, it's worked great. From the sporting aspect, we get to see two terrific fighters doing battle again. Digging body shots by Shane on the inside. Loads up the right hand, does Mosley. Circling around with his left, powering with the left hand now, looking to drop the right hand. He's got that left in the face. Vargas really hasn't opened up much at all yet. Looks a little awkward to me, doesn't he?
He's chasing. When Mosley's moving, Vargas cannot get there.
Yeah, instead of trying to cut him off, in other words, move laterally and slide down, he is chasing. The bell ends round one, which he did on a couple of occasions, but is Jack Mosley calling for it more.
And he sounded animated. In the Vernon Forrest losses, he was not animated. He didn't get on Shane early enough in the fight. He got on him here.
Boy, there's the jab planted. And that's when he comes off that back foot, then he loaded up the right hand. Didn't quite catch Fernando Vargas. Vargas, on the other hand, his corner wants him to work in with the jab, but Mosley's so quick, it's very difficult.
Amazing thing about Shane Mosley, only 2 guys have beaten him, each twice, but Vernon Forrest was a taller, bigger man, and Winky Wright was a bigger man in terms of weight class. Everybody else, he's been able to outclass and move on, and that blinding speed has given him the fight.
You kind of forget that, but you mix in the fact that he has victories over Oscar De La Hoya, who many people think is one of the greatest fighters of all time. I mean, Shane Mosley's still a whale of a fighter. And Vargas is a whale of a fighter. This guy's a 2-time world champion in his own right. But, you know, you talk about, you know, guys bringing out the best, and this just might be the situation for these 2 guys. They match up terrifically style-wise for a good fight.
For Shane Mosley, it's the ideal style with Vargas coming at him. For Vargas, it's the nightmare style when Shane Mosley moves.
Shane, to me, seems to be dictating the, you know, he's the ring general as far as I can see in this fight, though. Everything seems to be on his terms rather than Fernando forcing the fight. He really clubbed him behind the head that time. Kenny Bayless said, watch the heads.
Shane Mosley can pile up round after round if he moves laterally, and then he can make Vargas desperate and lunge at him.
Vargas is hanging on. Shane pummels him in the middle. Now Kenny calls timeout.
Let's work out, all right? Here we go. Time in.
I think Kenny said that's one warning now. Maybe because he thought he was hitting when he was separating the two. But when Vargas had a hold of him, there's nothing wrong with blasting him then. Vargas got to the body that time. Kenny says, keep him up. Loads up the right hand, sails over the shoulder of Shane. Fernando dances around to his left and walks into a right hand. Bad idea to circle to the left with a guy with a good right hand.
Work out, work out, work out.
Vargas did jump on the opportunity when Mosley came straight at him, and then Mosley went back to moving side to side.
Right hand lead gets through there by Fernando.
Quite a Vargas crowd here, but it's Mosley getting the jump in this fight.
Surprised by the pro-Vargas. I mean, that heavily pro-Vargas.
The two guys from California.
Yeah, but don't forget there's the Latino factor, too. There's a huge Mexican population here in Las Vegas as well, so they may not be all people from California. The Mexicans are very much behind any Latino-named fighter. And they're great boxing fans. The bell ends round too. And I think it's a smart thing to do because when he loads up with that much power with the right hand, he's open for left-hand hook, counter punch, unless he landed. Oh, he landed at that time. One real good and then a light right hand. Here's the hand speed again. There he goes with the right hand lead. Fernando sees him kind of stumble down. He was just off balance. Fernando was hoping that he got him with something.
Great shots by Mosley to start off this round. He applied the lessons of the corner immediately.
Shane comes with an uppercut on the inside as they tie each other up again. This is round 3, scheduled for 12. First one got to the 10th round before it had to be stopped with a swollen eye. The left eye of Fernando Vargas looks all right to this point, although he's been blasted on top of it on 3 different occasions already, and we're in the 3rd round.
Don't hold him, don't hold him. Stop.
I'll tell you one thing. Every time that Vargas ties him up, if Shane has any punching move at all, he blasts him. If I'm going to tie him up, I'm going to wrap my arms around both arms so he can't hit me like that. Either that or get your arms up underneath his armpits so he can't get you.
Look at that sweet move by Mosley to get in and out. He popped the jab and then he moves on the angle. When he's not moving straight back, Vargas is punching at air.
Boy, it's clear to me into the 3rd round that Shane Mosley is a better boxer, and what he has to deal with is the power of Vargas. Vargas hasn't been able to land a real solid power shot yet. He looks to me a little awkward tonight. For some reason, Dave, he looks a little off to me. I don't know if you're seeing the same thing.
I think this is the nightmare style for Fernando Vargas. A Shane Mosley who is moving is the biggest thing that he hates, because Mosley gives you the foot speed, he makes you change your angles, he makes you reload, and Mosley is infinitely quicker than Vargas.
So what stage does Vargas start getting frustrated with this? Because he's really been outboxed for the first 2 rounds and 2 minutes of the 3rd round.
In the first fight, Mosley started somewhat like this, but then did Vargas a favor by staying in front of him. I don't think he's going to do the same favor tonight.
He finally gets the jab through and tries to land a left hook of his own to Shane. Shane is very quick pulling straight back, and then he slides.
Don't hold him, don't hold him. Work out,
Now watching the inside. That time Vargas did it right. He had him up underneath the armpits where he couldn't get a punch off. He tried to get blasted on the inside. Light right hand by Fernando that time. This Shane flicking out the jab. What he's doing when he's doing that is positioning himself to throw the right hand. That's not his left hand punch. Digging body shot.
Stop, Philip, stop. There you go. Good break.
Kenny Bayless doing an excellent job. Stiff jab, right back with the right hand. Fernando. Look at this. Man, is he doing a nice job boxing this guy. Bell ends the 3rd round. That's Mosley's round 2.
Yes, it is.
Golden Boys presentation of this terrific fight between Sugar Shane Mosley, the rematch. And they simply are calling it the rematch. Fernando Vargas in the brown trunks.
And you brought up the point about how important are these 3 rounds. If Mosley were to win the 4th round and all the judges had it for him, Vargas would have to win 7 of the last 8 rounds to win the fight. So Vargas is already at a key juncture in the fight.
Oh, look at these power shots landed by Shane. And there's got to be frustration more than anything else in the mind of Fernando Vargas, as things aren't going well for him right now. He doesn't have any look of bewilderment on his face, but things aren't going his way.
He's not getting the stylistic cooperation from Mosley that he got in their first fight. And as a result, Vargas cannot settle into a comfort zone. You see him lunging, you see him reaching. He can't get set up against Mosley, and that is the quintessential effect of Mosley.
Well, I just say, I'm not surprised because I know Shane can do it, but against Vargas, he just looks tremendous in this fight. Kenny Bayless lets him work on the inside. He says, go ahead, work out. Finally, they do. Fernando landed some body shots inside there, goes with the right-hand lead. Shane just extended his left hand and dipped and stopped the right hand from hitting him. Remember, Vargas has a 4-inch shorter reach, and Mosley trying to take advantage of that reach. Chopping shot by Shane Mosley. Strange that he has a reach advantage and Vargas is an inch taller.
And he's fighting with a guy, he's fighting like he's got a 5 to 6 inch reach advantage, especially when he darts the head back on an angle and Vargas can't reach him. But Vargas is fighting with more urgency than he was in the other rounds. He's coming at Mosley sooner than he was before.
Shane looked at Kenny Bayless for some help there. There was a bit of a low blow, but no serious damage done. Shane just trying to pot shot him with the left hand and line up something with the right. Heads came clashing together that time. Kenny again warns him about the heads coming together. Last thing you want to see now in what is a dandy of a fight is a headbutt that would stop this fight. I mean, in spite of the fact that Mosley winning these early rounds, at any stage Vargas can jump right back into this thing.
You know that Vargas will make a move at some point in this bout, probably in the middle rounds.
Bell ends the 4th round, and a right-hand shot landed by Mosley at the bell. TKO'd in his last fight by Shane Mosley. Stopped by Oscar De La Hoya in the 11th round of their fight back in 02. And, of course, Felix Trinidad, the other one.
Step back 20 bells. There we go.
And that was back in 2000 when he was stopped in the 12th round of that fight, mostly an accumulation of punches in all of them.
You talk about the value of a good start. I've got Mosley winning all 4. If all the judges have that, now Vargas, who hasn't won a round against Mosley, has to win 7 of 8. That's almost impossible. So he's going to have to stop him in order to beat him, most likely.
Or use the power shot to drop him, but boy, it's not going that way right now. Look who's loading up the power shots. One of them landed on the chin, the other 2 on the back, but Shane is throwing punches with malice aforethought. This is the 5th round. It's scheduled for 12, and Shane Mosley just outboxing Fernando Vargas right now. Fernando hasn't landed what I would call a real solid power shot yet. There's a right hand that got through, got the attention of Shane.
Watch Mosley with the movement. That's what's been keeping him in a good spot. If he slows and walks straight ahead, now Vargas has a better shot. That happened a lot in the first fight. It hasn't been happening so far in this one.
Now there's a jab getting through by Fernando Vargas on a couple of occasions there. But again, while Vargas does some nice things, look at these power shots that landed by Shane. And to me, again, Fernando doesn't look like his punches are sharp. And in the pre-fight, as he was walking in, if you people recall, I was talking about, he's a guy that's been known for sharp, crisp, really on-target punching, and I don't see that tonight.
No, well, he's chasing Shane Mosley, and that changes everything. And then you don't have confidence in where you're positioned to throw your punches when the guy is consistently not there.
Well, his corner's got to tell him, man. Oh, it looks like there's a cut around the right eye of Fernando Vargas right now. I can't tell exactly where it is. We'll check on it in between rounds, but there's blood coming down by the right eye of Fernando Vargas. Remember, it was the left eye that caused him problems in the first fight.
Stop.
causing problems to the point where it's
Time.
now Kenny has to call timeout, and Fernando is really frustrated that he's been cut.
It was a punch.
And Kenny Bayless says it was a punch. That's significant.
Critical call, because if the fight ends for that reason, it's a TKO.
Work out, work out, work out.
Well, Miguel Diaz is here for a reason.
Well,
He will
Miguel,
be tested. He's one of the best.
yeah, he's absolutely one of the very best cut men, and he's going to have to go to work on this guy. Look at Shane, really outboxing this guy. The crowd really into it. They love it. This was a crowd that was all for Vargas, and look at the way Mosley put on a show at the end.
Tonight, Jack Mosley has adjusted. He was quiet when Mosley fought Vernon Forrest. Tonight, he's been very animated. He's been on him. He's been giving him helpful instructions, and he has shown another level of being excited. He's a laid-back guy normally.
Well, he loves his son, and he's been out of action for the past 4 fights, so I'm sure he's thrilled to be back with Shane. They never had a falling out.
No, but in the Forrest fight, Jack Mosley didn't help him enough. But here, he's been right on him.
Yep.
And he's been helping him a lot.
Round 6, the MGM Grand Garden Arena, Las Vegas, Nevada. Little swelling by the right eye of Sugar Shane Mosley. Vargas is cut by his right eye. Neither fighter has been down and nobody's shaken. It's been all Shane Mosley in terms of boxing, movement, in and out, combination of punches. The hand speed so far has just outclassed the power of Fernando Vargas.
Come on, work out of there.
And again, I don't see a frustrated look at Vargas, but he can't land a crisp shot. A lot of that has to do with the movement that you talked about, David.
Yeah, Mosley doing a great job with that, moving laterally, and then he has some intangible benefit of the speed, where even if he backs straight up, which you can't do, he gets out of the way because he can make a second move.
See, I like that jab that time by Vargas. He better plant that left jab in there, because if he throws it any way, shape, or manner, on a light manner, Mosley's so quick he'll come right through it with a blasting right hand. So Vargas has got to really throw his jab with some bad intentions. And he's trying to do that now, which I like. Vargas feints, and Shane doesn't go for it. There's a right hand, and one of the best left hooks that Vargas has landed in any round of this fight here in the 6th. Got Shane's attention, I believe, with that one.
That was a nice combination, and he had Mosley right in front of him, and he's trying to work for more openings here.
This round is still up for grabs, but oh man, not anymore. There's the left hook, which drops Fernando Vargas. I don't know if he can recover. He was really nailed with the left hook. It's up to 6 and 7 and 8 and 9. There's a lot of time left. Shane wants to jump on him. His legs are still gone. He nails him with another right hand. This fight's just about over. It's all over. Kenny Bayless stops the fight as Fernando Vargas was out on his feet. How about that? A 6-round technical knockout victory for Sugar Shane Mosley. He's done it twice now.
What a terrific left hook after he showed jab, jab, right hand movement all night. He picked the best time to get Fernando Vargas moving into the path of that hook.